All right. Hello, hello, hello. Agnostic till now. I see you in the chat. So today we will be talking about Michael Gungor. He is a deconstructed Protestant. He's a musician, a very talented musician. I've been keeping up with him on and off for 15 years probably now. I've seen him live maybe 3 times. I saw him, at a music festival. I saw him in Nashville. Very talented musician. And I've seen him go from milquetoast Protestant worship leader to off in the depths of retard land. He is so far out there that most things he says just don't make any sense. And hey, Ras, you don't tell me how to live my life, okay? You don't get to control me. All right, you're not my authority, Ras. Can't control me. You can't tell me what to do. But today we're looking at Michael Gungor. I haven't looked him up in a couple years, and I think it's going to be real bad. I think it's going to be bad. I hope it's gotten better, but I don't think y'all know what we're in for. So let me just give you a little bit more. So he was, I guess, generic, non-denominational. I don't even know where he's from. Let's look him up real quick on the Wikipedias. He was born in 1980. Oh, gosh, I'm already seeing stuff. Where is he from? He's from Wisconsin. How's my evening? My evening's just getting going. It's 3 p.m. here. Thanks for asking. Yeah, so Michael Gungor is from Wisconsin. Grew up Protestant. I've listened to it. He has a podcast called The Liturgists. And is that me being a Southern Baptist? It was actually like the first time I heard the word liturgy, because Southern Baptists and Protestants in general do not have liturgical worship. So that was my introduction to that word. And the Liturgist, the podcast, what it used to be, I haven't listened to it in 4 years now, but it is Michael Gungor and his friend who calls himself Science Mike, who is another Protestant who has deconstructed his faith, and they talk about whatever they want. And it's a lot of prattle and jibber jabber. Science Mike, I've read his book. He came back to some sort of faith in a generic Christian God because he was on the beach and had a transcendental experience. But he was some kind of Christian. He grew up loving Jesus. It was like Jesus was his best imaginary friend, is kind of how he explains it. And he wanted to, he was in like college and he wanted to get to, I think somebody challenged him about the Genesis account. He's like, well, I believe this book is 100% true, so let's go read Genesis. And he reads it and he's like, it can't have been happening like this because science says we need this to happen, and if it happens in this order, then it can't be true. So like the first page of Genesis, it can't be true. So I'm not a Christian anymore. But it's just this is a very little thought happening, it seems like, when he talks about his deconstruction. He just adopted a new hierarchy, a new authority, and the scientism became his new religion. And so that's Science Mike. He's the other co-host of the Liturgists. And Michael Gungor and his wife, Lisa, I think, if off the top of my head, very, very talented musicians. Like I said, you probably enjoy their first couple albums. Their last stuff I listened to was called Mind, Body, Soul. It's like 3 albums that are each about the different, the mind, and then the body, and then the soul. A lot of good songs on there. With all their music, you got to keep in mind that it's very Protestant. So there's lots of things that just are wrong in them. And then once you get to Mind, Body, Soul, he started going into New Age. So there's a lot of things that are just wacky. And I kept up a little bit here and there with his music, but I mean, he wrote felt like 4 or 5 songs about how he hates Trump, and it was just like, ugh. He wrote like a song about how bad it is to be a white man, and that makes you racist if you're a white man. It's rough. It's real rough. So when I first saw him in concert, it's probably like 2009. And great show. I remember there is a weird mix of just like a bunch of awkward homeschooled Protestants. And I remember there was like two guys beside me that were just like this the whole time. This is how they enjoyed the music. And there's a lyric in one of his songs that I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's God created all things for good. He created love, pleasure, and sex. And I remember the two guys sitting beside me were like, he's right though. Like it took them a good seconds just to be like, he said sex. Wait, like you'd see the gears turning because they were so used to like anything sexual bad. Hey Nadeem, it's good to talk to you. What's up, bro? I saw you were on here and I hopped on. A Jim Job stream, low IQ prot was fried. Yeah, there was like two different prots on the Jim Bob stream today, and they would make an assertion, I would challenge it, and I'd be like, "This is what you see in the church fathers," and then they were like, "That's just an assertion. I don't have to live through what you say." I'm like, how if that's your if me laying out an argument you can just say is an assertion, like how does that not just go against you? Anyways, off topic, but agnostic, you were 9 and you're 5 and 09. Am I really a boomer? I was 14 in 09. Sorry, off topic. You read that whole book? I haven't even read the whole thing yet. Good job, man. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I need to finish that. I'm in the middle of like 7 different books right now. And then I saw Michael Gungor playing in Cornerstone Festival. Really great Protestant festival that died. I saw the last 2 years of it in 2010 and 2011. Hope you guys can't hear that dang rooster. He's crowing his head off. But great concerts too. I will sing praises about the musical talents of Michael Gungor. Very talented musician. The amount of musical talent he has is in equal proportions to the lack of intelligence, or not. He's intelligent, but like the mental, what is it? Mental fortitude. He has a very weak mind. He's very susceptible to being hoodwinked and fooled by all sorts of things that just don't make any sense. Just so low tier, so low ball. Like you could just dismiss these ideas in half a second. You don't even have to think about them. You're just able to go, oh, defeater. Like there's no such thing as truth. Oh, is that true? I don't even have to think about that. You go, oh, that's a truth claim saying there's no truth. That cannot be true. And that's the level of stuff that he falls for. It's crazy. So let's go to his website of the Liturgist here. We're just going to kind of explore the world of Michael Gungor, see where he's at, check in on him. So that's the Liturgists. Love more, suffer less. Well, y'all, even right there, like that's just getting at the end of Lent. Lent just happened, and we just had Pascha. Blessed bright week for all y'all. Glory to God. But what is this love more, suffer less? Just off the front, where's the pick up your cross, man? Christ is risen. Indeed, he is risen. Truly, he is risen. I see some Orthodox people they'll reply, indeed, he's risen. And I mean, it's just like, I feel like a translation of the same word, indeed or truly. It's like they made the same thing. But whenever I hear indeed, he is risen, feels a little sus, feels a little sus. Let's press on. All right. Okay. Current events. Oh no. Is that a blue avatar lady? No, that's definitely like it's like a gay Hindu thing, right? And then we got a humanist perspective. Why do I care about humanism? That Sunday thing. Oh no. All right, guys, let's see what the union unicorn is about. Oh, one thing y'all should know about Michael Gungor. He has risen his deed as the OG. Is it? I don't know. Growing up Protestant, that's what you'd hear, but then I became Orthodox and everybody says truly. My church says truly. I don't know. I don't diss the indeed, but because it's all what the Protestants say, it feels sus. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's wrong. not trying to diss it. Yes, this is definitely corporate Memphis. But before we go on, I just want to let you guys know that Michael Gungor did change his name. I don't know if he changed it legally, but like 5 years ago, this is when I stopped paying attention to him. He changed his name to Vishnu Das. Oh gosh, no, that's not what I wanted. Vishnu Das. Gosh, just highlight. That's his name, y'all. Vishnu Das. Okay, let's proceed. Well, just I remember hearing that, just like that is the wackiest thing. He became like the spiritual son of this guru guy. What was his name? It's gonna hurt me. Da, 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 da. What was his name? It'll come to me. It's a pretty famous New Ager guy, insane guy. He has like orgies, gay orgies, trying to unlock his spiritual energies and stuff. It's very sus. We care deeply about creating opportunities for dialogue and connection as we explore new ideas and new ways of being. To facilitate this, the Liturgists open and maintain digital platforms for the community. Okay, before we get, where did the gay unicorn go? Where did the gay Hindu unicorn go? All right, I guess we'll look at the humanist perspective. What is a humanist perspective? It's fake and gay, as far as I know. This Thursday, we are starting a 6-week discussion group for those interested in finding community structures that are non-ideological. You kidding me? The humanist perspective is going to be non-ideological? The discussion will be led by community member Joel Mangion, and he'll be talking about ways to connect and cooperate as fellow humans without needing to build all of it on ideology, man. It's just like, gosh, why do we have to, it's all a construct, man. Sit down, lift up your shirt, smoke some weed, man. It's all a construct. It's all just, dang, man. Stop it. I don't like this. The group will meet in the Liturgist studio Zoom room and blah, blah, blah. Okay. That's that Sunday thing. So that sounds like cancer. I just don't like when people, so it's openly dystopian. Yeah, it sounds like it. I just don't like when people won't just own up to something. The humanism is obviously an ideology. How could you not say it's an ideology? But here we are saying, oh, we humanists are going to build this system of beliefs in a community, but we're going to do it sans ideology. We are dogmatically against dogma and ideologically against ideologies. We're religiously against religion. It's, again, simple defeaters. You are claiming what you are claiming everything on is what you're claiming you are against. You are making an ideology saying you're against ideology. You're saying there's no such thing as truth. That's a truth claim. It's that simple. How do people not see this? Like, do you guys see that Jim Bob, the 15K celebration stream? There's a guy on that was a full preterist, I believe is what he called himself. And the entire time he was like, I believe humans will reach their full potential as soon as we abolish religion. I want all religion gone. And then very quickly, Jim Bob was like, so what would you do? Start a new religion? He's like, yes, I would start a new religion, but I'm not going to use the word religion. And therefore it will not be a religion. Which that's just like word magic to me. That's like, I have a dog and I'm going, I do not call him a dog. He is a Flebenschnorf, and he will not listen to you, and I will not listen to you if you call him a dog. Woof woof. Yes, that he does make that sound, but he is not a dog. Do not call him such things, please. The Sunday thing. Wait, there's not much information on that. I guess that's just what they called church, doing church. You guys hear the Protestant, like, let's do church. Let's do life together, man. I wanted to see the gay unicorn. Where did that go? I clicked on it. Didn't I? No, too far. That was a funny stream. The Jim Bob streams, I love Jim Bob. He's like one of my favorites. But sometimes when there's guests on it, it does feel like you hit a brick wall. It can feel like that. And that was definitely one of those. Just like you're having this because these sophists pop up and they. It's strange because the guy's obviously smart. He's like seems well read, but his beliefs are so apparent, like obviously self-defeating. And Jim Bob pointed that out, and then it was just like it felt like 40 minutes of just circling the same thing because the guy cannot see his own blind spot. Click the. Did I miss the gay unicorn? Did it already happen? I don't want to. You can schedule an event with them. I would like to schedule an ideology-free event, please, where we get together and create a system of beliefs that we have created. Okay, I guess not going to see the gay unicorn. Let's press on. Let's see what their work is. Yeah, they have mindfulness meditations now. The Liturgist podcast. Black history. It's all super woke too. It got more and more woke. And you could say like maybe I can go to my story at some other point. My testimony, amen, how I came to the Lord, amen. But there was definitely a time when I was kind of teetering on the woke spectrum. I grew up in a very staunchly conservative home, and I went through some stuff, had some hard times in my life, and experienced some hypocrisy, and that led me to turn off my mind and just operate on if that's how it is over here, then I'm going to go over there. That was definitely me in my early 20s. Church shopping is the latest episode. There's 7 seasons of this thing. When was the first season? That's like when I started. We're just going on a little journey here, folks. Just hold on. My internet's garbage. 2015. That sounds about right. Yep. But I guess season 7 is just starting. So if you guys want to hop on and see this new season, it's just, you're not going to miss it. It's just starting. Fat phobia, dude. Womanism. Post-election. Should the church be political? Fredness. Cancel culture. Arctic. Can art help us heal? Oh, like all these are every episode is like, we all are holding all of our damage and we need to come together and help each other heal through butt sex and mushrooms. The mushrooms and the butt sex will help us heal our damage. Sophists can't acknowledge that they are wrong at any point, even if it's overwhelming how wrong they are. Yes, this is true. Well, it's just it's interesting because I was definitely a sophist at one point, and I was not an unintelligent person. I definitely chose to believe things based on my emotions, even though I did not think they made. I probably could have reasoned that they were not perfect models, but how does one person seek for truth, and even another person thinks they're seeking for truth, but they are not actually getting there? Why do some people get stuck in their sophistry and not? I don't know if I can answer that. We explored that question a little bit in my live stream about why I left Christianity. We looked at a couple people we looked at 6 people who deconstructed, and one of them found Orthodoxy, and all the others one was a little Muslim twink, and the other guys were like agnostic atheist types. Let's press on. All right. Well, let's go back to their work. They're doing work in the world, right? Well, what's the name of their mindfulness meditations? The Alien. What the? Oh my gosh, what is happening with this website? Do I have to log in? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Liturgist kids, they're indoctrinating the youth. They're getting our kids. Oh no. Meditation is good for kids too. Don't listen to them. All right. Love more, suffer less. Yeah, we saw that. Liturgists are committed to helping humanity love more and suffer less by bravely exploring our unique individuality within community and without judgment. while they're putting a freaking bag over this kid's head. Get out of there, kid. Liturgy is a word that is usually used within certain types of religious spaces, but the word literally just means the work of the people. Liturgy is essentially the structure that individuals use to come together and experience something as a community. Sometimes liturgy looks like lighting candles and taking the Eucharist. Other times, liturgy looks like a rock show or a yoga class or a stadium of screaming fans. The Liturgist is an online community of people imagining and practicing new ways of being together without judgment or uniformity. And I don't want to come off like I'm judging. I'm just trying to embody the type of person that reads this and goes, yes, I feel that in my spirit. The damage within me cries out for the healing that they can offer me. It's rough out here. It's real rough. All right, I think that's enough about the liturgist side of things. Let's check in on his Instagram and his Twitter, because that's where we're gonna find the real cesspit. Is his daily stream of consciousness. Here we go. I don't ever go on Instagram on the dang desktop. I don't know what I'm doing here. Search. Do I start typing? No. What? The content is no longer available. I don't even. Well, we suspect automated behavior from your account. What are you talking about? My Instagram was just locked. What? Okay, wait, no, there it goes. Oh, the thing wasn't loading. My internet's all garbage today. My internet's awful right now. Okay. Michael Gungor. Let's see what the man has for us. He's like a self-styled guru. So I'm sure Grey Goo, the Mystic Hymnal. He's launching a new project called the Mystic Hymnal. The thing is about all these people that like go into crazy new age stuff and like just create their own religion, their own individualistic butt sex religion. Why do they have to like try to hold on to the little parts of Christianity? Why do they have to like say I'm a Christian, but really I just want to have, Ram Dass? That's his guru's name, Ram Dass. I knew it would come to me. Like, why can't I just have gay Ram Dass butt sex and also be like I'm a Christian, yo? Like, why can't I do that? This writing. This. Oh, what am I looking at? Oh no, that's him. That's him retweeting something essentially. I don't. All right, let's skip over to his Twitter. I don't think we're. I don't want to sift through this. Let's hear what he has to say here.
Concept that so many of us have around spirituality, that it is somehow like hard work, something really
spirituality
serious,
is somehow
like
hard work.
A king dwelling over his kingdom, and we're like subjects of the kingdom, or we're trying to please or appease this other power. There's another way of approaching the more fundamental questions of who we are and what this is all about that is not so heavy-handed, it's not so based in fear or shame, but it's the image of play. It's the image of like being like a kid. You notice that children, before they're conditioned with the fear and the shame and taught who they're supposed to be, they imagine and they create and they play. Animals even do that. You see animals playing together. There's something about reality that is inherently playful. It's just for its own sake. When we go within and we go into that deepest essence of who we are, we don't find the work. We don't find the place to believe the right things, do the right things so that we're accepted by some other high authority figure somewhere. No, we get in touch with that aspect of life that we are, that is love already, that is play already, that is joy and peace and bliss already. And that's what these events called Play, the next one's this next weekend, are all about. We're exploring that space of love and play.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like him talking to me like he's like he wants to father me and also make love to me. I don't like that. I don't like it. And like the emotional music in the background. Yeah, so his theosis to become an animal. Yeah, just Like we're all already like love and like peace and home. We're all home. So like just come here. Come here. Why won't you get closer to me? That makes me very uncomfortable, I'm gonna be honest. All right, let's listen to another one. What's he got to say here?
I want to talk for a second about the idea of growth. When we grow, there's often pain involved, because to grow is by definition to move beyond what was, and what was always has like a barrier of resistance to it, whether that's your physical body or that's spiritual growth or intellectual growth, whatever it is. There's always some point in which we have to move past, and that point always has resistance.
Can't
And
help but feel
sometimes
like
that,
I'm like watching
that
Rugrats to
resistance
this
is
music.
just internal stuff, and sometimes there are external structures that also resist our growth. And a lot of times there's shame associated with that.
You're not a
Pushing past the
psychologist, dude.
structures, the communities, the relationships that are holding us in place. And I'm just here to give you this little message today that there are no shoulds. And so whether you need to leave that community or that relationship, or whether you need to put yourself out there and join a new we of some kind, wherever you're at in your cycles.
We need to join a new we.
It's okay. You don't have to add shame to the resistance. Growth is good. Movement is good. Change is as it should be. I want to talk for a second about the...
And what did he say in this other one? Didn't he just say like struggle is like we just gotta play and like let me touch you and love and peace. And this one he's like, you need to struggle. Growth requires struggle. Like, didn't you just say you don't need to do that? Didn't you just say that's like religious nonsense? Yeah, why is he looking at me like that? He's got those bedroom eyes while playing the Rugrat music in the background. It's not good. What do you got to say to me, dude? Oh, don't smile.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, friends.
Oh, it's like a live stream?
So I don't actually... I'm not sure why I pushed go live, to be honest with you.
Well, that's at least funny. Okay. I thought that was like a premeditated video. I was that one wasn't that. That was just, that was a little goof. We have little goofs every now and then. That's okay. That doesn't mean he doesn't want to have butt sex with me, though. You look at him. Look at him.
When we teach, whether through words or through music, that God is wholly other than us, that what you and I are fully separate
It's spelled
somehow
holy
from
wrong.
God, that comes with inherent shame. It comes with the inherent teaching that we are essentially broken.
No, it doesn't.
And that results in broken behaviors, bigotry and oppression and
buzzwords,
sexism and racism and homophobia, all of it, all of that shame that gets internalized as though...
Hey, man, the homophobia, that's the word I'm looking for. The homophobia, the racism, the sexism, the whatever else you just said, man, that's just a part of the play, man. We're just like all the one swirling within itself, just playing, and it's like a dance. So don't you diss my homophobia until you don't knock it till you try it. That's all I'm saying. It's not hateful, it's playful. It's not hateful, it's playful. Well, this guy's married too, dude. This Michael Gungor guy is married. He has like 3 kids, but he does some weird stuff. I'll let you know. Who is this guy? He should be a comedian, man. Only looking at him makes me cry laughing. I mean, pray for the man. He's lost in the chasms of pre-lest. Sorry. What were you saying about all
I am something that is other than love. It's destructive. It's not just an aesthetic or theological preference. That sort of teaching about God being wholly other is destructive and must be rid from all religion.
What? If you get rid of God being like, what do you even mean like that? Like, is this God is just a impersonal generic force that's like within us? He's like the energy. Like when I like run around and I'm breathing, that's God, What do you mean? If God has a different nature than us and we have human nature and he has divine nature, then we don't share the same nature. If we're created and he's uncreated, then there's a difference in ontology there. How is it dangerous to say that God is God? It's just one of those this is a false dilemma. To say that God is wholly separate and that he has his divine nature and then we have human nature, we are created and he is uncreated, does not equal humanity is inherently broken and evil and sinful. Those are different things that you can wrestle with. But saying that God is God doesn't equal like this reformed Calvinistic view of like total depravity. Those do not equal the same. They one might be predicated on the other. Like Calvinists would say that God has divine nature and we have human nature, but then they have all these other things they tack onto it that don't come just from that view. I just don't understand how he's saying, unless it's which probably is just his trauma that he's still holding on to. And cue the Rugrat music. Michael, if you're listening, you don't have to hold on to that trauma. You can believe that God is God and that humans are humans without all the butt sex. You don't have to, and you don't have to have that fear. It's destructive. It's destructive to believe that it has to be that way. It's actually what makes a society function. If there isn't a holier God present after death, then where does morality come from? How does he know if homosexuality is good or bad if there is nothing? Holier to show us that it's wrong. Yeah, I mean, there's also other classifications we could get into, other hair splits, like is God totally transcendent, like in Roman Catholicism and Islam, where he like total was absolute divine simplicity. Like with absolute divine simplicity, this is a little tangent, but I don't understand how the Eucharist is possible in Roman Catholicism. I don't understand how the incarnation is possible in Roman Catholicism, because God is totally transcendent with absolute divine simplicity. How can God become incarnate in that schema? I do not understand. And you ask any Catholic, like, are you eating the divine essence in the Eucharist? How could that be possible? They don't have an answer. They don't think about it. But God can be holy and he can be simple in his essence, but with the divine essence energy distinction. We can have a transcendent God who can enter into creation. And that doesn't, like, that's what I'm saying. It seems like he's just totally ignorant of other perspectives. He just he grew up with this, fundamentalist Protestant, humans are evil. God created us because he loves us, but he wants to kill us because he loves us so much. He hates us. And he had to like create Jesus so he could kill Jesus because he really wanted to kill us, but he killed Jesus instead. And that's why, because this God hates us so much, that he loves us so much that he'll forgive us all and give us the grace that we don't deserve because he hates and loves us so much, like at the same time or something. Yes, they don't have the essence energy distinction. Yeah, that's true. And it leads to problems. And I'd love to just hear, he's making a lot of assertions, and it's his platform. It's his Instagram. He can make assertions and not be challenged, and people will just listen to him. But I would love to hear, why do you think it has to be, if it's the schema of God is God and humans are humans, why does that equal humans are inherently broken? I know I've been talking about this for a little bit, but I still don't understand that connection, other than just thinking that it has to be this Protestant schema. Like specifically, Reformed Calvinistic flavor. Should we do another one? Oh my gosh. These are the same. This is the same one. He just changed his shirt and put on glasses.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Let's take a breath, can we? I want to talk for a second about
religious
the importance
dogma
of
broke
our views
my God. My heart broken, my
of
God.
reality or of the divine. And in doing that, I might be treading into territory that can be triggering or it can be divisive. And so maybe we could start.
Don't do that. Don't do it then. Be playful. You know, just be joyful and dance. Don't be triggering. You're gonna cause me trauma. You're gonna give me trauma, Michael Gungor.
Remember,
just because you're saying call me doesn't mean it's not triggering to me.
I remember as a young
Don't do that.
person, I loved worshiping God. I loved. I grew up in church, and I loved praying and worshiping. And I remember when I first heard about people like mystical people that would sort of start blending the line between who we think we are and God. And I remember feeling that was like almost like such a minimization of God at the time. For me, the otherness of God, the separateness of God, felt important to be a worshiper of God.
I'm
Otherwise,
sorry.
if God is just you
it's
and
hard
I,
to pay attention to him with the speech pattern.
then what are we doing even worshiping? Why even talk about God? And it felt like minimizing the divine in some way. But then I would have experiences sometimes, even in
like
that context.
I can't use my brain with
where
the
my
speech
worship
pattern.
and my surrender became so deep that I'd have these moments occasionally. We'd call it in the presence of God or whatever, but it was like,
or whatever.
It was almost like I couldn't find the end of myself and the beginning of God. It just was so overwhelming. There was just like all there was love. And I couldn't find a distinction. And this is the report of the mystics, of like St. John of the Cross or St. Teresa of Avila or Julian of Norwich. Or
anybody know those guys?
Lots of mystical streams.
St. John of the Cross.
Ever since through the.
That's a good screen grab right there. If the play button was in there, just St. John of the Cross. Is he Orthodox? Of the Cross. I don't know who the other people he said was. Anybody know those people? No, he's Roman Catholic, 16th century. I don't care. Yeah, I just loved going to rock concerts and feeling it, man. Which he puts on a good show, 100%. I don't know how weird it is now, but a decade ago, really good stuff. Very talented musician. Logan Daly, Pineapple and Pizza is the best. I will fight you to the death. It is the one hill I am willing to die on. No. I feel like he's speaking to my ear like it's like I don't trust him with the way he's talking, so it's hard for me to pay attention to the content of his words. I feel like I'm being taken advantage of.
The Christendom through the stream of Christendom through the years. There's the Celts, there's the Quakers, there's different people that haven't held so closely and so tightly to this idea that God is some necessarily other, separate.
Who cares?
That God is this sort of infinite mystery.
There are some people who hold to certain things, so therefore, we can just believe it, man. They do.
And this might sound like unimportant theological nuance or something.
It just sounds like prattle.
As I've explored both in myself and the more I've learned about history and seen the practice of different sorts of religions and spiritualities, there is something that goes along with the theology, the practice of how we practice what we believe in the world. Is really, I don't think it's coincidental that the Quakers were some of the first Christians to want to abolish slavery. I don't think it's coincidental that the sort of theology that came out of this like staunch Augustine and Luther, like otherness of God. And
Augustine and Luther, those are like very different people. Yes, Nadim, I'm sure if you met this man in a second, you would fold him like a chair intellectually. But I don't think he's a dumb. He's just so lost. He's so lost. Pray for that man. Where did I find this guy? I've known about him for, I don't know, 15 years. He was very very popular because of his Protestant music. When I was in middle school and high school, tons of the people in my Protestant circles loved him, and he's a very good musician. I'll keep saying that. He's good. I don't know what he's like in the last couple of years with his music. I'm sure it's all weird and just like probably him naked with a tambourine and he's like high off his butt. That's probably what's happening. Reminds me of that comment about early heretics on Andrew's stream. I didn't see the Andrew stream. Reminds me of the comment about early heretics. I'm not sure what you're talking about. This is nothing close to theology. Yeah. I want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him. He'll talk to you. Somehow his words feel like they're like licking you. You feel moist afterwards. Let's listen on.
And depravity of man was responsible for the slave trade in the first place. The empire of religion being exported and using bodies to build itself. Because when people are seen as just separate objects that could potentially be redeemed by some other being, God or not, versus when we see the divinity.
He's very loose with his language. It's hard to pin him down because he's so
vastly different consequences.
Loosey-goosey.
I don't think what is happening in Palestine, in Israel right now.
Okay, yeah, Is that what this was
would
about?
Be happening if there wasn't this set of beliefs that has been built on a God who is other.
God is transcendent, therefore evil. God is holy, therefore evil. Even in his worldview, if we're all one and God isn't something apart from us and we're all just like a part of God, or we're in this sea, floating in this like sea of God, then the Palestine-Israel conflict, like the hate and the racism and the homophobia, that's just like a part of God expressing himself, man. Like it's just God wanting a little bit of BDSM, and like he just wants to experience it. This is the universe experiencing like himself. Like I just love that little, I wish I could I can't really rewind with these reels or whatever, but I just want to see that little sassy black woman thing he did. This Palestine-Israeli thing, I know it's probably like a big quagmire of like history in the Middle East and stuff, and a lot of people try to like debate about what it's really about, but I think it's just this God concept of it being other than us, like sassy black woman mannerisms. There were heretics in the early church not looking for good ortho bros. Oh yeah, that one. So because there were heretics in the early church, Orthodoxy is wrong. Because there are people with multiple claims, it cannot, your view cannot be right. My view can be right even though there's multiple claims, but your view, that has to be wrong. It's a bad argument. I thought we have to be playful like animals. Yeah, come on. The Palestinians and the Israelis, they're just like being little playful. You know, they're like little puppies with their missiles. They're just like, it's God expressing himself. You know, when he blows up, when the Israeli blows up a Palestinian building and kills a family of 9, like that's just God expressing himself. God wanting to experience what it's like to be a 5-year-old being killed by Israelis. Like that's just. If that's not playful, I don't know what it is. I'm gonna be thinking about that sassy black woman thing he did for a while. The propensity for Protestants to accidentally call themselves out as Gnostics is astounding. This guy, yeah, he's definitely Gnostic. It's just like, I think this is where like Protestantism and Western Christianity, where Rome ends up at. Anyone that connect, with a Roman Catholic lineage ends up in what kind of tributaries can they go off into? They can go off into some kind of this new agey butt sex land, like Michael Gungor, where everything's one, and like I'm just gonna make bald assertions that are totally contradictory, and I'm just gonna live in cognitive dissonance land because that's love. You have just total denial of anything. It's a lot of it's just like total denial of truth, total denial of reality. because you got atheism. You could be an atheist whenever you're coming out of the Western Christianity factory. You become an atheist, just total relativist. I mean, all of it ends up being relativist. Like this Michael Gungor guy, he's totally relativist. He won't really say that. I mean, he'll say relativist statements while trying to act objective. Like, I really think that this God concept of being other is just really what's messing us up. And if we all just realize that we're all just part of like everything, then we can be one and like not kill each other. We're playful, religion isn't about struggle. It's about like tambourines. It's just its own form of relativism. Does it all ends up in relativism, you think? Bad in a world, then God naughty. Yeah, I still understand I'm speaking about from my knowledge of listening to hours and hours and hours of his podcast, The Liturgists. I listened to it from probably 2015 to 2019, maybe not then, maybe 2018. I listened to it for like 3 years. And it made me think, because I was just a dumb little Protestant at the time. Dumb little, 20. I was like 20. From when I was like 20 until I was like 24, I was listening to this guy. But yeah, I'm speaking from my background of knowledge. Y'all, if you guys are just hearing about this dude, and you're here with me, we're exploring where he's at right now. He believes in wild oneness stuff. It's one of those things. I've noticed this trend of ex-Protestants, like these deconstructed Protestants, who are all about love and like emotionalism, but it's all, like girded up with this like bitterness and hate from where they came from. And these religious people are just keeping us down, and their concept of God being other is what's holding us back. And it's feigned love. It's not love. Definitely not love. If God, why bad things happen? I can't define bad things outside of my preferences. Yes. If God, why bad things? Even though I don't believe in bad things. They're just being little scamps playing around. Yeah, the WMDs. Yeah, they're just you're giving them a hard time. Quit busting their balls. It's just a big playground. It's God experiencing himself. That's a good question. Let's go on. I don't know how long this video is. It doesn't tell me.
If God is other, then you and I get to be fundamentally other.
What? If God is other, God has a different nature, God has a divine nature, then you and I are fundamentally other. What about like made in the image? Like, what about you and I sharing a human nature? I don't see he has this concept of everything's one, but then when trying to actually parse out real questions and actual theology, he has this black and white thing going on. He can't actually, it seems like he cannot actually think about it rationally. He just has this emotional, if I'm not God, if I am not God, then I hate you. I hate everyone. You are other than me. You are totally other than me. If I'm not God, I'm going to join the Israelis and I'm going to start mowing them down, because I'm not God. That's all I'm really hearing is, if I'm not God, I hate you. but come on, let's love each other. Smoke weed every day.
It just gets built on it. It's like at the ground floor. Who are we? What is this? What's happening?
You tell me. I can try to figure you out.
And so I found for myself, as I've let go of my
sanity,
my firm beliefs and feeling like I understand anything, frankly.
Okay?
Who I am, who God is, what this is, when I don't have an answer to that, and I just allow it to be as mysterious as it is.
If I just allow myself to swim in the cognitive dissonance.
First of all, I can't find the lines between the ground of being and this being. I can't find any lines there.
You can't find lines there, But if I'm not God, you and I are totally other. What is it, he so convinced about his presupposition of we're all one dough, that anything outside of his sophistry and monism, he can find lines all over that. He's got red tapes galore. But when it comes to like me being itself, ontology, and me this being, I don't see any lines there. It's like just one never-ending swirl of butt sex. Just like I don't see any lines there. It's just never ending. Just a Ouroboros. If God is, and I keep saying the butt sex thing, there's a reason. His mentor, Ram Dass, orgies. And Michael loves this guy. I remember him telling a story about like him being in a cafeteria or something. I don't really know the setting, but he's eating like a lunch in this setting, right? And he has this feeling of like being overwhelmed with this feeling of love and acceptance and warmth. And he jolts and he turns, and across the room, this old man, let me show you, named Ram Dass. I don't know if y'all heard of this wacky dude, this little scamp. This guy, this dude, is staring at him from across the room. And Michael goes, the love that I felt I was enraptured in was being sent to me spiritually by this man. So I want to know him and be one with him and do many, many mushrooms with him. And this guy's known for doing weird gay orgy stuff. So I'm just saying there's a you can look into yourself at your own risk. But it's what you expect. You know, it's just cooming. It's just God isn't real. But wait, no, let me backtrack. God is real. He's all of us. So coom, let me have butt sex. That's what it is. I no longer believe in dogmas and embrace flux. Everything is in flux except for this statement. That's hilarious. I don't understand anything, but we are all God. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, we are all God. Is not this transcendent thing outside of us that we can't understand. He's all of us all the time right now. But I really don't understand anything. Even though I'm God, I can't see the line between being itself and this being. I can't do it. I try. There's no lines there. There's no lines. I'm walking. There's not a single crack for me to break my mother's back on. I tried. He is a pre-less dispenser. Yes. He pops pre-less like a Pez dispenser. God is love. We are all God. Therefore, coom. Yes. The 12 commandments, the 69 commandments of sophistry. Let me share my screen again. Let me do that. Boop.
And what that leads me to, when I allow myself to rest in that mystery, is love. It's to see that, oh, this all belongs. That every story, every person, every form, it's all just here within this
every
ocean.
Atrocity.
It's only when I forget, it's only when I draw the lines of distinction that are so firm, clenched fist, clenched heart, that I could ever start to think that this part of reality is mine and that's yours and I'm good and you're bad. All those things, the ways that we divide, all the things that violence is built on.
Do you really think that's what people are saying? I mean, I'm sure like, okay, yeah, Muslims probably saying something like that. Infidel, but like, you really think that's what everybody's saying? I'm right, you're wrong, I'm bad, you're bad, I'm good. Like, that's just how it is. Like that, every question about epistemology and ethics, that's all it boils down into. So if we just like forget all this stuff and just like, let's get rid of all the ideology and like all of like the thought kind of hurts my head. Let's empty ourselves and be filled with the oneness and love. Just be quiet for a minute. Let's breathe. But also, I'm going to drown you out with neuro-linguistic programming And I'm just going to give you a stream of consciousness. Do this. It's like you're being hit by the waves of my consciousness. It's streaming in on you. Yes, feel it. Feel it. Ooh. Ah. I'm sending my love feelers out. Can you see them? This is what happened to me when I converted to oneness. An old creepy man from across the cafeteria sent out his demonic love to me, and it embraced me, and I'm doing the same to you now. I'm sorry. Where was he?
Well,
Where was I? Who am I?
Oppression are built on war, bigotry.
All the buzzwords.
All the ways we other people and harm each other.
Did you just other me?
Scaffolding to this stuff. And so when I see this, it makes some of the songs that we sing together, those of us who value community and church or any of that kind of stuff.
Are you supposing that some of us don't?
Not so unimportant.
Bigotry.
It's not just a song that we sing. When we let these shames that this God is our God, like this subtext of like our God is greater. What? Who are you comparing? Where are these lines being drawn? That our God is greater than these kind of things that our
God is greater than
like
the
let
demons.
Into our psyches.
The gods of the pagans are demons.
Without consequence.
It's
not without consequence that there are so many of us who grew up believing that God was some other, that we began to hate our own bodies, our own sexuality, our own curiosity.
Talk for yourself. Speak for yourself.
Spirit, our own creativity, our own aliveness. We shut ourselves down. We shut our voices down. We shut our hearts down. Because we were taught that there was some other being who needed us to be a certain way to love us, to accept us. And when we die, we don't get to go to some good place.
It's like when God says, like, blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. That's just like him othering me.
What if for a moment, just for now, could you open yourself to the possibility that you don't understand?
But you do.
Whatever God is, whatever the universe is, whatever the biggest model is, but can you see that all this that's happening in your experience, the thoughts, the perceptions, the sensations?
Oh, it makes me uncomfortable. It gives me a weird feeling.
Feelings, it's all within.
Oh my God. Did you hear that? I said feelings and he said feelings at the same time. Like syncretism is true. Feel the waves. Oh, they're coming in now. I'm getting another one. Oh, I think Logan just said, you don't understand what I do. Justification. What's that? Oh my gosh, we said that at the same time? How did I know you were about to say that? Oh my gosh, the syncretism. We're all one. Can you not feel it? Can you not feel it? I am a little girl in Palestine being blown up right now. That's me. We're all one, experiencing itself. Ah, I didn't know that.
It's all within awareness. It's all within
awareness.
The mystery. And you notice that there's nothing that you can point to. It's almost like clouds in the sky.
And point to that.
Every form that passes.
Point to this.
You say you or me.
What do you mean I can't point to
this? Even God, and our ideas about what God is. These are just little forms of experience, a thought, a belief, a story, a sensation. But where is all of that happening? It's all just happening here.
Like right here?
This? If you try to answer it, you have to try to point somewhere other than here.
Wait. Thoughts are happening here. If you try to point to it, it's somewhere other than here. Did I hear that right? What was he trying to say? I feel like I missed the premise. I heard like a conclusion, but I don't know if it was just like we were in like 10 minutes into a prattle right now, and then there became a conclusion that felt like there should have been something before it. So we can't point to anything, even though I can point to many things. And okay, to help me, did I hear thought? He said thought happens here, and if we try to point to it, it's suddenly not here. Are thoughts like that particle that's a particle but a wave, depending on how you look at it? It's he says a lot of buzzwords. Like he loves to say his victimhood buzzwords, but he says all of these like new age stuff that like I feel it's like he relies on people like reading between the lines, and if they just like like come from at it from their own perspective and like fill it in for me, then like it makes sense. But if you actually take what he's saying, try to make it make sense. Like, what is he saying?
Here, not as an idea. Now, not as an idea, but just the mystery of what is.
Mystery, not as an idea. Not as an idea, but as a mystery. Like, the thing is, like it's like he's adopting language. That's why I don't quite understand why all these Gnostics and these New Age people feel the need to borrow from Christianity so much. I mean, obviously because it's true. So why wouldn't they try to borrow from truth? And that's going to bolster up their retarded schema, because it's going to have a little hintlings of truth and little hooks for people to ignorant Protestants being like, oh, he's a Christian too. He says he's a Christian, man. Anybody that says they're a Christian is, so I can listen to him. And oh my gosh, now I want to go near that old man. Like that old man, he's making me feel all sorts of like warm, fuzzy things within my loins. Yes, my loins. And oh, ooh, I don't, look at him. There he is. This is the man sending me feelings in my loins. I must get closer to him. Look at him. Does that not do something to you? Is that not, you see this man at the other side of the cafeteria staring at you with AOC eyes? Do you not feel the need to get closer to him? Whether it's an orgy situation or not, do you not feel that the bum tickling in your consciousness is bum tickling? He tickles bums with his consciousness. Yes, that's what he does. It's confirmed. I've heard about this. I don't know how long this thing is we're watching him. Let's try to finish it out if we can, but I don't know. I want to get to his tweets too. So there's some epically just ridiculous tweets from him over the years I've seen.
And you can see it directly, and it's mystical when you like.
But you can't point to it. You can see it directly.
Just to let this be it, your life, just to be what it is in this moment. We don't need it. I'm not espousing some new belief in God.
Really?
Okay, you got to believe in God, but you got to believe that God is X, Y, Z. No, I'm saying the way that we draw these lines to have this secure understanding of what we're talking about when we talk about God has consequences, and it starts in me. It starts in a constriction of me separating from myself, from my own heart, from my own body, from my own, like I said before, all the aspects of me. This emotion's not okay. My anger is not okay. Only my happiness is okay. My sexuality is only okay in this way, not in this way. All these things that we like, this part of me, no, this part of me, okay, maybe separate. And that plays itself out.
Didn't you say in like a couple of videos ago that pain and growth is good and we need to like change? Like, but now you're saying that there's nothing a part of me that's not what it is or what it should be already. Would the best way to define Protestantism, my mother-in-law says Protestantism. I like that. Let's go with that. The best way to define Protestantism be those claiming to be Christian without normative authority, or those claiming to be Christians following one or more of the solas. Yeah, I mean that's I don't know if that's the best definition, but that's definitely a good definition. Well, I think it's not that yeah, with normative authority, you could say that, because all Protestants only rely on their own individual authority. They are all their own popes. They will not often acknowledge this, but that is what it is. I mean, I like just the Father Seraphim Rose's subjective Christians. And I'd like to know more about the term heterodoxy. If anybody, Nadim, you seem like a knowledgeable guy. If you could, I would love to know when the word heterodoxy was introduced into the Orthodox phronema. Is it an ancient concept looking at heretical Christian sects, not butt sex, but just sects, and labeling them heterodox rather than schismatics or heretics? Because I look at heterodox, if I look at my friends who don't know much about Orthodoxy and they're just and I believe that they're genuine in their heresies and in their conception of what God is, even though it's very flawed, they're genuine and they're ignorant and they don't know better. Calling them heterodox is a way to be charitable instead of, they believe in heresy, but that does not make them heretics because they are so ignorant. They're like wee little babes and they haven't consciously chosen the heresy in a way that, like, I, as an Orthodox Christian who know the truth, chooses to believe what they believe. If I chose to believe what my Protestant friends believe, I would be a heretic because I cannot feign ignorance. I've seen too much. But I thought we could never understand. Now we have to feed our understanding about God. Dude, each sentence is not connected to the sentence before with this guy. I mean, he is a solo everything and everything. Heterodox is every single thing outside of Orthodoxy. Okay. But my something I'd be interested in is seeing the history of that word. What is it called? Etymology. What is the etymology of the term heterodox? Is it something that many church fathers in the, 3, 4, 5, 5th century, were they using that term? Or is that something more modern? Is that a modern term that we Orthodox use? Or is it something that is ancient? And I don't know that answer. I'm reading church fathers right now. I'm reading through the Shaft set. I just finished St. Irenaeus' Against Heresies. It's quite the lengthy tome. It was like 300, 400 pages. And this guy fits a lot of that. That's when I think of Gnostics now or New Ager guys, it just strikes me like how similar they are to the Gnostic heretics that St. Irenaeus was fighting against in the mid hundreds. Because almost all those guys like start their religious belief with a number. This guy happens to believe in the number 1. But some of them would believe in the number 12 or the number 32 or whatever. And then they read the Bible and they look at everything and it has to fit this number, this schema, or this idea. And then everything, that's their order of theology. Everything derives from it having to fit within this number. Instead of, we have divine revelation and everything. There are patterns in creation, like the number 7 with the 7 days. There are 7 tribes of Israel. There are 7 apostles. We can see these little connections and these things that can be ordered and make sense, but we don't start with that ordering and then work our way up to the whole system. You end up in total absurdity every time you try to make it about, grammatia. The nuance in it is the distinction between solo and sola scriptura, though there's no real noticeable difference between those who adhere to either. Are you saying solo scriptura versus sola scriptura? So, like the evangelical notion of sola scriptura, which is just everything that's in the Bible is exactly what I believe, and I only believe things that are in the Bible, versus like the Lutheran position, which is sola scriptura. Scriptura is the only authority or the highest authority, and I do not accept any authority outside of that. I think that's like different rhetoric around it, but I think in the long run they end up being about the same because you're both just relying on your own intellect, your own interpretation of scripture. But is that what you mean by sola versus sola? Yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. Thought so. Honestly, I'm not even sure, but I think it's used as early as the first schism in the church, hence the Arian and Nestorian. Oh, it's like even so was it more, because my understanding is most people use it heterodox as like a way to be charitable. I'm not going to call you a heretic because I look at you as a wee little ignorant babe found in a basket outside in the rain, and it's not your fault that you believe in thousands of heresies all at once somehow. It's not your fault. Like Arius and Nestorius, they were very early on and they just decided to build the system, and they were bishops. They knew better they were corrected. They had a council correcting them, and they still chose to go their own way apart from Christ. So they would be heretics. Would they use the term heterodox with them to mean the same thing? Because I don't hear a lot of the way I hear Orthodox people use heterodox is typically like there's heretics like Arius and Nestorius, and they were real bad dudes. And they had all these opportunities. They were in the church, they left the church. But Protestants, for instance, have not been in the church for 1,000 years through their religious lineage. And they are wee ignorant babes. And because of that, they haven't necessarily chosen. They're just so ignorant. They haven't had that same gall like Arius to leave the church as a bishop. Don't take you on. Yeah, I'd like to, I don't know, do some research. I've already read a bit of the fathers. I'm in like about to start the 3rd century. And I haven't noticed that word, but I also wasn't reading it looking for that word. It was something I just recently thought about, like how early, like when did this come into the Orthodox Phronema? My understanding was that it was simply a more polite way of saying heretic. Orthodoxy is right belief. Heterodoxy is different belief. Yeah, I think it is trying to condescend and be charitable to people that we're not saying have the same level of culpability as a heretic. Somebody who was in the church, who knew better, was a bishop for most of the heretics, and left and led all these people astray and started, attacking the church. That's a different status, a different culpability to people who just are ignorant and grow up in heterodoxy. Yeah, in my experience, it's more applicable to unknowing heretics led astray as opposed to conscious heretics. Yeah, like people who were following Arius, probably less culpable. I mean, only God can judge, but this is just my own rationality. Probably less culpable. Somebody who is fooled by the snake oil man than the snake oil man himself. I think the way the word is used differently today, but heterodox are heretics for sure. Yeah, I would say that I would be somewhat hesitant to call someone a heretic, but I would not hesitate in the slightest to call them heterodox. And maybe I don't know. Maybe that's what my talking to my spiritual father. That's kind of, we are trying to draw these heterodox people in, and most of them are totally ignorant. So just be loving to them. Have your firm boundaries. Obviously, do not reject the faith. Do not compromise the faith in any way. But love these people and try to draw them in. And most of them are just totally ignorant, like Mr. Gungor here.
Then when I want to project my ego into the world and I go, I'm okay with these kinds of people and not these kinds of people.
Oh, what? You talking about me?
That's how it starts. It starts here.
He don't like me because I'm black, dude.
Experience of this.
Look at that white guilt on his face right now. If I was in the room with him, me as a black man,
and philosophies and ideas
he would squirm.
Based, not in ideas that authority figures have told us, not in ideas from some book,
not ideas from like a guy in a mustard
just
sweater,
look at your present
just
experience
like word vomiting.
Of life.
I wish there was more sassy black energy.
Yourself to be what you
black
are.
lady energy.
If you just actually do that for this moment.
Allow yourself to be who you are. What if me being who I am is a racist bigot, homophobic bigot? What if that's who I truly am? When I like sit and I meditate, I just have all these thoughts of like doing bad stuff. What if that's who I really am, Michael? Is that just like God expressing himself? It's the divine in you and the divine in me. There is still a distinction between heretics from the church and heretics from outside the church and the church fathers. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree. I would typically say like heterodox all believe heresies, but I wouldn't condemn them, I guess. I would say they're believers in heretics, believers in heresies, but they're ignorant of it totally. Just not all of them, obviously, but
you can see through these ideas just directly. You can see through, that thought that I should be something else is just a thought. That thought that those people should be other than me, or that God is some other.
But this guy supports trans stuff, so like that's somebody having a thought that I should be something other than I am. But he supports that thought. But how do you we got to draw the lines now. We got to make these distinctions and draw lines about the thoughts that tell us to change. And we accept those and embrace those for who you really are. Like, that's like, oh my gosh, you really want to chop off your wiener? Like, that's so good. That's so good of you. That's who you really are. And me wanting to be a racist and hurt people of color and of cholera and that's bad. You got to stop that within yourself. That's a bad thought. You got to draw a distinction in the oneness now. Now we have two, because you can chop off your wiener, even if it's a block wiener. But if you hate block people, then that's you got to draw distinctions there. But you can let them chop off their block wieners. I mean, every heresy is wrong, but there are levels of heresy, and the church can make the distinction regarding if the heretic appears to have actually repented of his heresy. Yeah, I mean, like, we can keep going on this if y'all want, but like, if one of my Protestant friends and I have a discussion and I say something about Orthodoxy he doesn't like, and then he goes and persecutes Orthodox people or the church, or he vehemently tries to deconvert us or something like that, I mean, that's different status than somebody just like, oh yeah, you're just like another denomination or whatever. You have like more pictures than us.
Just thoughts.
It's just thoughts, man. These are all what am I doing here other than just stream of consciousness about his stream of consciousness, really, you know? Am I a hypocrite?
You're not just a cloud. You're not this cloud and that cloud.
I'm not just a cloud, but you say up here, remember, you are the sky. You're the sky, beloved. I'm the sky, but I'm not the clouds. What are the clouds in but the sky? So where the cloud moving, it's creating a hole in me. I am the sky, but I'm not where the sky is being occupied by clouds.
And the sky doesn't have any limits about what kind of clouds can be in it.
But they're not me. You just made a distinction.
All the clouds, any feeling, any emotion, even any belief.
What about the belief that God is other? What about that one? Why did you say that one can't be? That one causes Israel stuff. How you doing, Bill? We're out here just sophistrying it up, dude. This guy's your lawyer. You're going under the prison. Your Honor, a criminal. Your Honor, a criminal who is my client truly is. I feel like I don't know what that sentence structure is, but yeah, I get you. I mean, I would try not to call my dad a heretic, but I tell him any given belief is heretical. I love, I don't know if you guys listen to Watar. Why are we talking about rabbits? First Things Foundation, but I love when he says, I was introduced to Christ through a heretic called my mom. It's really funny. Christ is risen. Truly he is risen, Nadim. Truly he has risen. There's no way he's comparing us to clouds. No, I think he said we're not the clouds, but we are the sky. We are the sky. This video is going infinitely. It must be a live stream. I'm sorry, guys.
For that. You can't really contain or even define the sky space.
Is it the ground? Is it the dirt? No, the dirt isn't the sky. Well, then I guess I could define it in a little bit. I can contain it everywhere that the dirt and the clouds aren't isn't sky somehow.
You can find a cloud. You can find this form, this idea, this theology, that one. But that's all within the sky.
So is the belief that God is other. You have to keep, if we're all one, you have to contain this idea that you hate that God is other and apart from us within everything being one. Because it's here. It's here. Here we are.
Us.
Huh?
It's killing us starting with this moment, the suffering, the alienation from ourselves in this moment, and how it spills out to politics and war and all the biggest super ego sorts of things that happen on this planet. But it starts here.
I don't like when he sighs.
Remember, you're the sky, beloved. All of that.
Okay, let's take a break from listening to him. Ugh. 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 I need some like palate cleansers. I don't know if I'm on StreamYard. Can I do like buttons and soundboards? I need some of those. Maybe I have to do OBS. I gotta look into it, but I need something to help lighten it because this guy I feel disturbed in my spirit. But if it's killing him, it's killing us. And if one of us is spiritually dead, we all are. Yeah, I mean, well, if you're spiritually dead, that's just like the one deciding he wanted to feel what it was like to be spiritually dead. But he couldn't actually be spiritually dead because he's really just one of us. He's one. We're all one, and he's one, and one of us is spiritually dead, but he can't be because it's just another experience in the oneness. We're all the sky. You can't define it. Can't point to it. Can't define it. It's a mystery. I don't know. Where do we go from there? Let me log into Twitter real quick, and I'll let's see what he's got to say on there. I want to read him for a little bit instead of listening. Hopefully his written word won't make me feel like I need a shower. Okay. Here we go. Bill says, I'm hoping to debate an Uncle Fatty on Escape with Speak Easy on his proposition that everything is everything. Should be fun. The guy spurgs out and does personal attacks, so I need to keep my chill. I don't know who either of those people are, but you're going on there to debate him? Good work, mate. Keep up the good fight. All right. He crafts sounds to open the heart. He's a heart surgeon. Just making sure my wife didn't text me, so I'm not trying to neglect no responsibilities here, y'all. Anybody? No, I don't want to listen to you talk. That's why I came here. Anybody know of a church open to heretics like me? After so many years of journeying through different practices and religious explorations, I'm feeling ready to plant some roots in a specific community tradition. Didn't we read earlier about you wanting to be free from ideology? Is this you wanting to return to ideology? In order to find some synergy and play within making this world a more beautiful place. But I need that community to be one open enough theologically and energetically to have room for someone like me who doesn't believe in any sort of religious exclusivity to participate fully with all of my being, not just my giving and attendance. Do such communities or churches exist? If so, please tell me about them. Well, sir, I don't know if you know this, but a local community has to be exclusive. They don't have to exclude people necessarily, but a specific place and time cannot be another specific place and time. A community cannot be another community. So I'm sorry, but you are violating your dogma and your religious practice of oneness by wanting an exclusive community in an exclusive locale in an exclusive time. I'm sorry. I wish it was different. Here we are. Yeah. I don't know who Uncle Fatty is. What is better than this dweeb? WT? Who's WT? I don't know. This dude is it's rough. It's real rough. Oh gosh, I don't know how Twitter works. What is happening here? He's like, dude, there's a bunch of reply. He likes to like he's like a woman who's just like he likes to, like have little cat fights with people on Twitter. Post there. Okay. I don't want to see you. I love all human beings, truly, without condition. I feel like we just watched him being really judgmental. Now he's loving us without condition. And I have no regard for any human beliefs. Do you really believe that? Do you really believe that you don't have any regards to any human belief? Really? no respect for, no confidence in, no love for, because they aren't things that can be loved. They have no shape, no reality other than a dreamed unwholeness. Can anybody make sense of that? Anybody? And then he replies a bunch. Oh, he's replying to himself. It's a one of those. To believe in the way I'm referring to now is to concretize. Let's do a check. What did I read that right? Am I having a stroke? Concretize. Is that a word? To make something concrete. Become specific. Yep. She is. All right, friends. Well, we will keep going on here. I gotta get going. Abrupt ending. Let's we'll continue this later. Farewell, Sarah. All of y'all have a good rest of your day. Please don't get lost out there. Don't get lost. Just don't. Farewell.